Hey, so did you guys check this out? This article from CoinDesk that Avalanche is now back up after failing to produce a block for about 4 hours. Can you guys imagine the credibility that's going to be shot when you have a blockchain out there that's not producing any blocks, meaning that transactions are not going through? And you're trying to be seen as a bellwether, as a heavyweight in the cryptocurrency space, and you get this type of news come out against your blockchain? Yeah, that's negative information. You don't want to see that, but apparently it happened to Avalanche. Many instances of this, if this continues, understand that this won't be a positive light for the cryptocurrency Avalanche. So let's go ahead and break down this article. Let's comment on it, and then I'm going to give you all a price prediction as to where I suspect the market's going to go off of this news to see if it really impacted the price. All right, so let's go ahead and go. So looking at this, Avalanche suffered a major outage on Friday, February 23rd, 2024, failing to produce blocks for more than 4 hours. Developers released a software patch disabling logic that permitted an excessive amount of gossip to take place between validators. It seems to me like it was like a DDoS attack. Like, just a lot of false information was being fed to these validators to where it got clogged and jammed, and then the blocks couldn't transact. That's what happened. So excessive amount of gossip, what produced the gossip? That's the question. You have all of these developers, coders out here messing with the Avalanche blockchain. What are they really doing? Did someone try to hack or break down Avalanche to where it got clogged, to where it couldn't produce any blocks for 4 hours? Like, if you're trying to utilize this blockchain, these are logical questions that you want to ask yourself. Do I want to place all of my very important information? If I'm trying to operate a business off of a cryptocurrency blockchain, is Avalanche the pristine place to go? Especially when you see this particular situation occur. Like, you don't want to have your business impacted by a case of excessive amount of gossip to where you have no control over. It needs to be reliable. And this particular situation makes Avalanche unreliable. This cannot continue to go on. If this happens again, understand it's going to destroy even further the reputation of Avalanche. Avalanche interruption followed a 5-hour outage earlier this month from rival blockchain Solana, another blockchain that's having issues. Many blockchains cannot have outages. You cannot have this especially if you're trying to be the monetary bellwether of the new world of the new environment of where monetary transactions are going to happen. You cannot have this happen. So now you have Avalanche, you have Solana. Why are they going down? Why are there being outages on the blockchain? Bitcoin, however, hasn't received any outages thus far. Yes, I understand that it's hard to scale and that the transaction time takes a while. I get it. I understand. But which one would you rather have? Would you rather have a blockchain that remains to transmit blocks, to reduce blocks, Bitcoin? Or would you rather have Solana and the Avalanche to where you're taking a gamble on whether or not your transaction will actually be produced? Will the blocks continue to go forward? Layer 1 blockchain Avalanche resumed finalizing blocks on Friday, 4 hours after an outage took the network offline due to a software bug, according to its status page in Block Explorer. A software bug? Should you guys at least tested the blockchain before you guys implemented these software updates? Like, do you not have a sandbox to where you can test to see whether or not this new software is going to impact the layer 1 blockchain? Because apparently they didn't do that in this particular situation. Why would you release it on the layer 1 blockchain when you really haven't ran the bugs to see how will it impact the cryptocurrency Avalanche? The layer 1 solution, here it is right here. You guys can see right here on the Avalanche website. Currently everything is green, but you can see on the main net, the network right here, February 23rd, 2024, a major outage was reported, 5 hours and 24 minutes. That wasn't the only time. That was on the 23rd. Here, the 1st of February 2024, there's a partial outage, 5 hours and 13 minutes on the Explorer mainnet. Go down further, look at the core. The first partial outage, 5 hours and 13 minutes. Look at the stats. On the 1st, 5 hours and 13 minutes. Are they experimenting on the layer 1 blockchain as they're trying to utilize and get people to come and develop off of it? Like, they need to have some separate place that they can actually test these new software updates to see what's going to happen. Because this continual situation of outages is not going to be a positive light in the grand scheme of Avalanche. Okay, so you guys can see a massive amount of information, how the block finalization stall occurred on February 23rd, 2024. Identified. Attention Avalanche validators, please upgrade your node to Avalanche Go to version 1.11.1. This release disables logic added in version 1.10.18 that led to validators sending an excessive amount of gossip to each other. Yeah, these validators didn't know what to do. They was being barraged with a whole lot of information and data to where they couldn't actually produce a block. What happened? To those who are coders, software programmers, I think you may want to go a little bit deeper into how did this happen. Like I told you earlier, it reminds me of a DDoS attack, to where you just throw a whole amount of information to these validators to where they cannot actually complete transactions. Was this a test run of like a cyber attack? Think about it. A software update caused validators to be inundated with a whole lot of gossip, a whole lot of nothing. But the validators felt that they was actually transactions trying to be produced, and they couldn't handle it. The validators could not handle the traffic. So it got stalled, and it couldn't produce a block for 4 hours. Now make that make sense. Avalanche stopped adding blocks at 11:13 UTC time, according to the status page, which noted that developers for the network had already begun investigating the issue. At 15:59 UTC, developers released a software upgrade to Avalanche nodes that disabled logic, which led to an excessive amount of gossip between validator nodes. So they had to create code to disable all of that gossip to be made. Now, for those who don't know, validators are entities spread around the world that manage the blockchain nodes, securing the network and processing transactions. The software patch addressed an issue where more information was passing between the nodes than what was necessary, which placed a strain on the network and ultimately brought it offline. That is what a cyber attack does. That is pretty much like a DDoS attack. The nodes couldn't handle all of that traffic. Now, does Avalanche consider itself scalable, able to handle a large amount of transactions? Because if so, this is a pristine situation to where it couldn't do it, even though the information wasn't real, even though the traffic that was trying to hit these nodes, these validators, wasn't realistic. It wasn't actual transactions trying to be produced. But even then, those validators couldn't even handle that. And it brought the network offline. Now, imagine you're a business who accepts Avalanche cryptocurrency, and you couldn't even buy or sell from your business accepting Avalanche because of this situation. 5 hours, your business would have been handicapped. It would have been down. It would have been hampered. It would have been hurt. Who would you go to for a remedy? If your business was accepting Avalanche, who would you go to get redress for recourse? Because you're damaged. Your business couldn't transact because of the Avalanche network was down for 5 hours. Avalanche validators provision a stake-weighted bandwidth allocation for each peer, and this buggy logic led to each node saturating their own allocation with useless transaction gossip. If you have coders and programmers all across the world utilizing Avalanche, is that something that they did not consider? That this logic that they coded was going to produce saturation to each validator, to each node on the network, to where they couldn't transact legitimate transactions on the blockchain. This dynamic prevented pull queries issued by the validator from being processed in a timely manner and led to consensus stalling. Yeah, each validator was doing its own thing. They couldn't come up with a consensus on the block, thereby stalling the network. Now, it's good that Avalanche has gone through this situation in an early stage, because hopefully they've learned from this situation and they won't allow it to happen again. But if it happens again, I want you to know that they did not learn from this situation. And if it continues to happen, you need to ask yourself the question, is Avalanche a good blockchain to use? Now, the CEO or the co-founder of Avalanche, developer Avax, speculated early in the day that the issue seemed related to a new inscription wave that had launched on Avalanche an hour before the outage. Inscriptions are a way of recording arbitrary data on a blockchain without smart contracts. They initially emerged on Bitcoin, allowing users to mint non-fungible tokens, NFTs, on the blockchain for the first time. But then the co-founder of Avax clarified on a tweet that, however, the inscriptions were not ultimately the main culprit and did not affect performance. It seems to me like he didn't know what happened. In one tweet, he goes on and said that it was the inscriptions that caused the problem. But then I guess he got more information and said it really wasn't the inscriptions. It was the software update that we released that caused all of this false data to be produced to where the nodes couldn't find consensus. So he had to pull that back. Here's the tweet right here. Clarification on this. The issue seems to be a gossip-related meme pool management bug, which is purely a code-related bug and not an issue with performance handling. Inscriptions seem to have hit the edge case, but inscriptions did not affect performance. Okay, cool. It's good to have co-founders, people in higher positions, to come out and clarify situations, and when they see more information, they like to get it straight. That's good to see that at least he did do that. So, what do you guys think about this? Do you think it impact the price action in Avalanche? Because we're going to look at the chart and make a determination as to, okay, what is going to happen with the price. Let's go to the charts real quick. Here it is. You guys can see that Avalanche currently is trading at $36.75. I did a price prediction in Avalanche. Take a look. I was looking for the market to go up, and since I did that video, price has gone down. So yeah, it's not looking too good for our price prediction in Avalanche. There is one thing I wanted to show you. You all can tell it off of the chart that the market is still holding our buy zone. So we're still living to see another day. But for us to not see price go higher after we did our price prediction, it does cause some concern. Maybe the market in Avalanche is not that bullish. Now, the network outage occurred in Avalanche on the 23rd of February, which is right here. Okay, Friday. Look at the price action. It didn't do anything. So maybe this bug that happened on the layer 1 blockchain on Avalanche, people don't seem fearful of it. It hasn't received the type of market impact that one would suspect of a blockchain going down. Maybe if it went down for like 12, 24 hours or so, then maybe we would have seen the price action in Avalanche go a lot lower. So that's a good signal. That's a pretty good thing for us to take note of for Avalanche, that people still have faith in Avalanche right now. Let's take a look at Avalanche here on a 3-day time frame. You guys can see here that the market in Avalanche has not capitalized off of these 2 3-day price bars. Again, that is not a good thing. Avalanche on the 5. It didn't capitalize even here on these 2 5-day bars. On the weekly time frame, I don't feel too bullish into the market in Avalanche. Even on the 2-weekly chart, I have 7 hours and 9 minutes left. If we close here on the low of this 2-weekly bar, we need to anticipate lower prices. Okay. Let me look at this on 330-minute chart. So currently, yeah, I don't see market strength really coming into the market in Avalanche. Yeah, I'm not too bullish right now. You guys can see right here on this volume bar, right here at the bottom, that this is where this buy zone is. So the buyers did hit the market on this buy zone in Avalanche. So like I told you earlier, we may see the market in Avalanche live on to another day to try to go higher in price. But just the fact that we haven't received any movement to the upside ever since we did this price prediction kind of lets me know that the overall market doesn't appreciate those prices at these higher prices around $38 to like $43. They think it's too expensive up there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel out this price prediction. For it to get out now, we will be down 13.86%, and we're going to anticipate lower prices. But before I do, we are now going to create this sell zone. Okay, this represents increased selling pressure into the market in Avalanche, meaning if price runs back up to this sell zone 42.50, 43.50, we expect selling to increase, price to come down. Okay, so either at the low or the high of that area is where our sell zone is. And then our next target is going to be here immediately at this buy zone. We already know that buyers are here. So market comes back down in Avalanche and tests that buy zone. That's our first target. It's not going to be a lot, but we do recognize that there's still a slight chance that the buyers will hold this area. $35, that gives us 4.8%. At the low of that buy zone, it gives 8.64. Okay. Here's the second area, second target. That's our second buy zone. Either at the low or the high. At the low, 13.25%. The biggest buy zone that I want to show you is right here. Okay, so let me get rid of these other buy zones because I don't want to make this chart confusing. We're going to hold this third target as our other buy zone. Okay, so like 19.5% there. So I'm looking for the price action in Avalanche to grab hold of one of those 3 buy zones there. We'll see how weak or how strong the market is basically off of where buyers hit the zones. All right, so I am done. Go ahead and give me your thoughts. Make sure you maintain the profitability. And as always, trade different.